Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon. Welcome to the demo theater. I'm Suganya Bhaskaran, and I'm a product engineer with the Runtime Group in Esri. Today, we'll talk about the new authentication API in ArcGIS Runtime for iOS SDK and how easy it is to use it. Before we get started, are you all iOS developers here? Are you all iOS developers? Have you used version 100 of the Runtime SDK? All right, that's okay. Okay, we have a lot of ground to cover. Let's get started. This is going to be the agenda for the session. First, I'll talk about what our goals were for the new API. Next, I'll introduce the brand new authentication manager we have. After that, we'll cover two main topics. One, how you can authenticate your user and the role authentication manager plays in the process. Then we'll see what authentication challenges are, the different types of challenges and how you can handle them. Secondly, we'll talk about how you can cache user credentials to the device's keychain. So with the new authentication API, first and foremost, our goal was to have the developers write less code. Authentication is quite complex, but if you think about it from an end user's point of view, it is just a gateway for them to get to the rest of their app. So we wanted to simplify this process, and also we wanted to provide a central logic for all the security-related configurations of an app. We didn't want to have a lot of failure points, and we wanted to avoid failure if possible. And we wanted everything security related to be done in one place in your entire app. Lastly, our aim was for our developers to handle all the different security mechanisms, including credential caching, in a very consistent way. So the key player in all of this in version 100 of the Runtime SDKs is the authentication manager. It would be your one-stop place for all the security-related configurations. It's coarse-grained, and it provides a lot of abstraction to the developers. And it's singleton object, which means there's just one throughout, one for your entire app. And in the SDK, it is exposed through a class AGS Authentication Manager. And the Authentication Manager is responsible for authenticating your user and caching user credentials. So, first let's talk about how users can be authenticated. How does the authentication process work in iOS SDK? Let's say you try to load a secured resource like a layer, and the server's response is an error. Authentication Manager becomes active now, and it starts to intercept the error. It first checks the type of the error. It could be that the credentials supplied were incorrect or no credentials were supplied. Then it would examine the type of authentication mechanism used by this layer, whether it's token secured, PKI secured, OAuth secured, etc. Then it would wrap all of this information and create a challenge object. The challenge object is used to get credentials from the user, and then the layer can be loaded successfully. What happens when there are multiple challenges at the same time? The authentication manager queues them for you. So I just talked about authentication manager issuing challenges to get credentials from the user. The challenges themselves can be of any of the different types. You can have username password for simple token secured. You can have client certificate for PKI secured. It could also be OAuth based, or it could be that the server's host is untrusted by the client. I will not be talking much about the untrusted host type because it's not very common and it seldom occurs in production environments. So when an authentication challenge does occur, the user needs to do one of these things. They'd have to provide a credential so we can try to load the resource, or they'd have to cancel the challenge in which case the resource will just fail to load. And handling of the challenge itself can be left to something called as a default handler that is provided for you by the SDK, or it could be done by the developer and implemented by them through a process called custom handling, or it could be a mix and match of both. Let's take a closer look at each of these. First, default handler. In this case, the authentication manager, in addition to creating a challenge for you, also creates and presents the UI for the user to provide credentials. This is how it's going to look, like a username password field for token secured, a OAuth page, or even a list of PKI client certificates that are in the device. And all this is done with no extra code in your app. Once the user has supplied credentials through one of these means, authentication manager is also responsible for loading the resource. Sometimes you may not like how the authentication, the default handler looks, and you might want the UI to go with the look and feel of the rest of your app. In such cases, you as a developer can implement your own custom handling. To do that, you would adopt the AGS Authentication Manager delegate protocol and implement the delegate method for it. This method is going to get fired asynchronously whenever there are authentication issues in your app. So when there is an authentication issue, the manager is going to create the challenge object, and this method would get fired. Then you as a developer get hold of this challenge object, check its type, you create your own custom UI for your app, present it to the user, get the credential from them, set the credential on the challenge object, and pass it on to the auth manager, which would then load the resource. This may look like a lot of steps, but it really is not, because you'd be really focusing on just building the UI part of it. And you do this all just once and centrally in one location in your app. And I talked about the hybrid handling. So in this case, you may want to have a custom UI for some resources, whereas for others, you might just want to defer to the default handler. So it's kind of like a mix and match between the first two types of challenges handling we talked about. So with all that information, let's see some quick demos of authentication challenges. We'll see how default and custom handling works. Before that, I have a web map here in my ArcGIS organization that shows tourist spots in Berlin. As you see here, this item has not been shared with anyone, so it is secure. So let me switch to Xcode now, and we'll see first how default handler works. I have this Xcode project set up with the SDK, and I have also added a map view to my storyboard. And when the app starts, I am initializing a map here with the URL to my secured web map. And then I bind my map to the map view. I do this because a map is essentially a container for base map and operational layers, and map view is the view component to it. So when I do this binding, the map's contents are going to be drawn. So, and that's it. Let me run this app. So the map begins to load, but then an authentication challenge is issued at this point because I really never provided any credentials. So this is the default handler in action. It has created and it's presenting me with this UI. Let me enter the credentials now. I hit sign in, the user is now authenticated and my map loads. Note that all I've done is just initialize the map and bind it to the map view. And that's default handler for you. It takes care of the entire authentication process. Next, let's see how you can load the same web map using a custom handler. I have another Xcode project here. And in addition to initializing the map and binding it to the map view, I've done a couple of things here. I've adopted the authentication manager delegate protocol, and I've set the delegate to be my current class. I've done this so this class can listen to any events that the authentication manager is going to fire. And this is one such event that fires whenever there are authentication issues. And look here, it's giving me a challenge object. Now, I as a developer, it's my responsibility to inspect this challenge object and deal with the rest of the handling. So what do? I know that my users are going to log in using a username password. So I have created an entire custom UI for them. All this is custom UI code, but let me just point to some relevant code related to authentication. So here I have a text field for getting username, one for password, and a login button. And this is the block of code that gets executed when the user taps login. I get the username and password from them. I create a credential object from it, and I call continue on the challenge with the credential object. So authentication manager would then try to load this resource with the user supplied credentials. And that's it. Let's try running this app now. Map loads, and custom handler prompts me for credentials. So probably slightly better looking than the default handler. Let me provide my credentials again. User is authenticated and my map loads. This may look like a lot of code, but most of this is just my custom UI code. And the authentication piece here is just this. So that's custom handler. With that, let me switch back to my slides. So far, I talked about authentication manager in a very generic sense, and it becomes a little more specific when you want to authenticate users using a OAuth login. In case of OAuth, you would need to first have a client ID, as most of you would know, that you get from your ArcGIS organization or portal, and you would also have an optional redirect URI, in which case you can show the OAuth page within the iOS's Safari View controller. So a OAuth configuration object has to be created with all of these information. You would give it the portal URL, client ID, redirect URL, and you would set these configuration objects on the authentication manager. What happens if your service supports OAuth, but you don't set any of these? The fallback would be to just ask the user for a username password. They would still be authenticated, just that not using OAuth. The OAuth page itself is internally fully managed by the authentication manager, so it's not publicly exposed. So if you're coming from, or if you've used our 10x version of the SDK, we have something called as a OAuth view controller, which is no longer exposed. But however, there are delegate methods that get fired, so you can change the presentation and transition styles depending on the form factor of your device and so on. next, we'll see how OAuth logins are implemented through a simple demo. So, in this project, when the app starts, I load a default map, and upon a user action through a button tap, I want to load my secured map, right? But the interesting part here is the OAuth configuration settings I've added. I've created an OAuth configuration object with the URL to my portal. I've given it a client ID, and I've given it a redirect URL that I've set up in ArcGIS organization. Then I have added this configuration to the authentication manager. Note that there can be more than one OAuth configuration in the same app, and the authentication manager just handles all of them. So that's all the code. Let's run this app now. So the default map loads when the app starts. Now let me tap to load my secure content. OAuth login page appears. This is iOS's Safari view controller, and the user can provide their credentials right here, or they could tap this button to pop out the login page to Safari browser. Let me just enter my credentials here. And say sign in. That's it. User is authenticated and the map loads. So you can implement the whole OAuth workflow in your app with just a couple of lines of code. So that's OAuth. Let me switch back to my slides now. So far, I talked about authenticating users, talked about authentication manager, talked about authentication challenges and the different ways you can handle those challenges. Once the user is authenticated, though, you may want to cache their credentials on the device so they can stay logged in. Or you may simply not want to prompt them for credentials every time they launch the app. To do that, you use credential caching. In version 100, there is an in-memory credential cache that we have enabled by default. The cache is also global, which means that if your user is authenticated for a server in a domain, and if they try to load another layer from the same portal in the same domain, we automatically reuse the credentials. However, because this credential cache is in memory, it will be terminated when the app is, it will be cleared when the app is terminated. The SDK provides you options to cache the credentials between different sessions so that the user can log in once and continue to stay logged in. You can also share and sync credentials between different apps of your organization, and you can share credentials between different devices like phone and tablets using iCloud keychain sharing. So the method to do all of this is exposed on the credential cache, which is on the authentication manager in turn, and the method is enable autosync to keychain with identifier. The first parameter to this method is a identifier, and it cannot be null. It is responsible for keeping the in-memory cache as well as the device's keychain in sync. So this could involve saving new credentials to the keychain or retrieving credentials from the keychain to your cache, and it's also responsible for updating them. The second parameter to the method is an access group, and it's optional. You set this if you want different apps from your organization to share credentials, like say you have, say, collector and explorer type apps in your organization and you want them to talk to each other and share credentials, so access group is what you use. The access group string must be the same across all the participating apps in that case. And the last parameter in this method determines whether or not you want to allow users to share their credentials between devices, like their phone and tablet. For this, the SDK actually taps into the iCloud keychain sharing provided by iOS, and users must have turned that setting on in their devices. So that's the third one. So this is all about caching credentials and letting the users stay logged in, right? The next step would be to handling the logging out part. Because credential caching is now enabled by default, it would be your responsibility as a developer to log the user out. How do you do that? By a simple method called remove all credentials on the credential cache. Now, if your cache and keychain are being synced, removing the credentials would also remove it from the keychain. With that, let's see a demo of caching user credentials. For that, I will have to switch to my iPad because iOS simulator has some issues in retrieving cached credentials. It's an Apple thing. So, okay. Let's take a look at Xcode first, actually. Again, I have another project set up for this, and I load a default map to start with, and here I give a call to this method to enable autosync to keychain. I give it a unique identifier, and I'm not going to be showing syncing across between devices or between apps. So I have set access group to nil and across devices parameter to false. Then I've set the delegate, and I've implemented this delegate method. Basically, I'm going to be using custom handler to first authenticate my user. And finally, I have a function here that would call this method remove all credentials from the credential cache. So now I'll switch to my iPad, and this is the app. Let me launch it. So this loads with the default map. Now I'm going to tap load secured content, and I get prompted for credentials. Okay. And I log in, the map loads, that's fine. What also happens in the background here is the credentials that I supplied are synced to my device's keychain, and the user is going to stay logged in. So to demonstrate that, what I can do is I can quit this app and relaunch it. Now I'm going to tap load secured content, and I'm not prompted for credential. The map just loads. Credentials have been retrieved from the keychain. Now I'm going to log out. Credentials must have been cleared, but to quickly check that, I'm going to tap load secured content again, and sure enough, I get prompted for credentials. So that's basically how you manage caching and the entire login, logout process in your iOS apps. So let me switch to the slides. And with that, we've essentially come to the end of a demo theater. I know it's a lot of content, but let me quickly try to summarize whatever we've talked. I talked about the key role Authentication Manager plays to start with in authenticating and in caching user credentials. We talked about the different types of authentication challenges, which could be username, password, client certificate, or OAuth. And in order to handle the challenges, the SDK provides you with the default handling. Or as a developer, you can implement your own custom handling. Or you can do a little bit of both. Then we saw what different challenge actions are available. When you use custom handler and you get the credentials from the user, you can then continue the challenge with the credential, or you can let the default handler do it for you. The user can also cancel the challenge, in which case the resource will fail to load. And resources can also opt out of Authentication Manager. So Authentication Manager and credential cache, everything is global across your app. So your resources, like a particular layer or a geocoded service, for instance, can selectively opt out. Then we talked about caching user credentials, how credentials are cached by default in memory, and how you can cache credentials between sessions using the device's keychain, between apps and between devices. And to finally log out, you simply clear the credentials from cache. That's it. Thank you. Questions? Okay. Thanks, guys. And I also encourage you to take our survey and let us know what you liked, what you would like to see in the sessions in future. Any feedback is appreciated. Thanks.